don't do anything. You know, sit in front of a blank piece of paper, blank wall with stickers, and look at all the aspect of what you want to do. Then you can pick the best way of getting there from here, and then you start creating it, or you start building it, or creating a building. And then you manage, and then you operate it. Now, if you do that, that means you control your future, because you are controlling your future. History is made today, because 30 years from now on, this today is the history. So now, how do you change? Change is very simple. Start doing something, stop doing other things, that's change. That's the easiest way to change.
Drug is systematic abandonment.
Right. So you stop doing something that
the hardest thing.
Not according to your understanding, not according to your design, not according to your building. And I've seen so many people that don't understand, they don't design, they just jump in and do it. And then they say, boy, my life is really difficult. I say, well, you didn't think about it before you do it. Of course it's difficult. It's like you have to understand that if you design a car, the front two wheels has to be of the same size. Now, I've seen so many people driving around in their own life, going like this, because one of the wheel is out of not the same size of the other one, and then they complain about their difficult life. Doesn't have to be. Stop the car, change the wheel, and then go on driving.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, yes. Drucker said the first principle of change is actually abandonment. Abandon the past before you can make the change. So I want to turn the question to Royce. You are in the creative and innovative business. So how do you manage change? How do you create change, or how you explore opportunities from this change?
Yeah. Well, it's a fact of life that things will not stand still. You know, time is ticking all the time. So instead of waiting or observing change, might as well write or create a change. I guess one thing we try to push ourselves to do is not to focus the R&D in the lab, but to focus the R&D in the market, to look at things from the receiving end, what is needed, the impact to them, and the impact to people around them. The other thing we try to do is to serve, learn how to serve our people. And I have to admit that is something that we haven't done enough, but at least we have the consciousness, intention to do it. We try to embrace people so that even the change was initiated by one person or one group of people, eventually it was shared. And not until the intention of change is shared among a bigger group of people, then things won't happen. So we launched something what we call EAT, Employee Asset Test. So we try to ask employee to be brutal, blunt about what they see, so people have the opportunity, have the channel to voice out and advise us what we could do, tell us what the blind spots are, and by learning from the employee the imperfection of the management, hopefully we can do a better job. So the learning I have in terms of change is not about you dictating what to be changed, but you advocate, and then you get the input from other people, you collaborate and come up with a joint mission, and together embark a new journey.
Okay, so say in the last 10 years, what are the big changes you ever faced in your industry? Can you share a case, or even the media or tools that you use in your industry that's totally different from the past?
I guess when we look back, as an industry, we have evolved. In the past, we tried to offer ads to our clients. We serve corporates. We are in the B2B business. We are in the brand management business. I guess we have evolved to learn to become a solution provider. Because these days, corporates, be it commercial organization or not-for-profit, they came to us, they are not asking for ads or websites. They came to us when they have an issue, when they have a challenge. So we learn to how to add value. We learn to put ourselves in the shoes of people knocking on our door. And by listening, we started to play a more relevant role. I guess the key point is to be relevant rather than to sell what you want to sell, but to offer solution to help people to solve problems.
Okay, thank you. Well, I don't want to move to the fourth question because I don't really hear a solid case. Well, DHL, what kind of big change happened in your industry, in your own business?
Don't want to talk about it. I left it. I left running it. Yeah. So, no. Well, my own industry is called Life Design and Management now. That's my industry. And that's what I'm teaching. You want to hear a case? 3 months ago, I was told by my doctor and say, your kidney function has dropped from 35% to 28%. And if it goes, and last year was like 45%. And if you go on like this, your ankle will swell up, and also that you may need a new kidney. So I used the change formula. First, I went and understand. So number one is what I have is called insulin resistant. That means I've been eating so much good food that my liver cannot handle it anymore. Because when you're young, you don't have the money, you don't eat the kind of rich food you have. Not only that, your body is functioning more efficient and effective at that time. But when you get old and you stop, continue to stuff good nutrition in, your liver kind of give up and say, well, what he said, I'm going to just either build it around his belly or dump it out. Now, the result of that, number one, the news scared the hell out of me. Sorry. Excuse my French. The other word was even worse. Right. So I went and say, the doctors say, well, you have to do things. Number one, lower your blood pressure from 150 over 95 to 120 over 70. And everybody of my friends said, that's impossible. That's impossible. Second one is you have to go from 148 pounds to 125 pounds. That's quite a bit. It's like 20%. So I went, searched the net, and then I find out, number one, the most effective way of lowering your blood pressure is called deep breathing. Not heavy breathing, right? Heavy breathing, we all do that. But deep breathing, it means, and then hold it, and then breathe out. In fact, it says in one of the websites that if you do it about 3 weeks, your composition in your blood change, and then it will lower your blood pressure. You try it. Because yesterday I measured, my blood pressure is around 125 over 72. So that's the kind of, yeah. Then the other thing that is, I had to stop eating. And then I have bok choy for breakfast, I have sashimi for lunch, and then I have chicken for dinner. Give up
No
red
skin.
meat, no more foie gras, and no more caviar. The caviar is getting beyond reach anyway. So,
Okay.
and that's if you
Okay,
want to
thank
state
you.
case.
You triggered
Because
the Dean to say
sooner or
something.
later,